You don't have to wake up with motivation. You have to wake up with a decision. Look around, the world is full of people with talent, but no results. Dreamers who never act. They're like race cars with no fuel. Power under the hood, but no movement at all. And that's the real tragedy, watching raw potential die. Not because of circumstances, not because of a lack of ability, but because of a simple refusal to show up. Every single day. No exceptions. No excuses. No waiting on the weather, the mood, or the number of likes on a phone. Just discipline, that quiet, relentless, stubborn force. The only one capable of turning a spectator into the author of their destiny. Here's a truth most people don't want to admit. Your willingness to show up matters more than your talent. Your ability to act matters more than inspiration. Not because talent doesn't count, but because talent without discipline is wealth locked in a vault without the key. It's there, but you can't use it. Push yourself to show up where it's uncomfortable, where you'd rather not be, where everything inside screams just 10 more minutes, or I'll start tomorrow, or not my day today. That's exactly where your strength is forged. Not from a motivational reel, not from a coach, but from an inner contract, the one you sign with yourself. I show up, even when the world isn't watching, even when no one claps, even when the lights are off, because I don't work for recognition, I work for results. Your habit of showing up daily, on time, at full force, becomes your greatest competitive edge, because most people don't. They start and vanish, they get excited, and then quit. They plan and postpone. But you stay. You keep moving, you come back, and day by day, step by step, you pull ahead. Right now, as you read this, someone out there is smarter than you, more gifted, in better shape, but the one thing they don't have is your commitment to show up. And if you learn to show up, always, in spite of the fear, fatigue, or fog, it won't be long before they're looking up at you. So stop waiting for ideal conditions. Force yourself to be where strength is born. And that place, it's not pretty, it's painful, it's lonely, it's slow, but it's where discipline is born. And from discipline, everything else grows. There's one thing people rarely talk about because it stings, but I will. Being talented is easy, it's not a choice. It's just a mix of genetics, circumstance, and chance. Born with a good memory, talent. Got rhythm, talent. Good with people, talent. But discipline, that's a choice. It doesn't come naturally. It's not inherited. You have to raise it, nurture it, protect it. And that's why it's so valuable, because it's the result of a daily victory over yourself. People look at others on top and say, they got lucky, she was born talented. He had a head start, and maybe they did. But here's what that doesn't explain. Why out of hundreds just as gifted, only one made it to the summit? Why out of all the promising ones, only a handful became legends? The answer's always the same. The winners are the ones who keep showing up, who keep doing the work even when it's boring, even when they've failed 3 times, even when everyone else seems to be moving faster. Your brain will try to negotiate. It'll whisper, start tomorrow when you're fresh, or today's just not the day. That's survival talking, a system designed to avoid pain and conserve energy. But you're not here to survive, you're here to grow. So you've got to look that voice in the eye and say, thanks for the warning, but I'm moving anyway. Look at world-class athletes. They have bad days too. Their muscles hurt, their minds are heavy, the pressure's real, but they still show up. They lift the weight, they run the lap. Not because they feel like it, but because it's part of the deal they made with their future. This is the universal law. Discipline is the contract between who you are and who you want to become. There are no magical mornings where you leap out of bed excited to do it all. There are only decisions made in spite of how you feel. There is only the routine that turns you into a force to be reckoned with. You don't build yourself during moments of inspiration. You build yourself when you lace up your shoes without the mood. When you open the laptop without the desire. When you face the hard with no guarantee you'll win. That's where real development is born. In the ordinary, done consistently. The real power of discipline isn't in making your day productive. It's in transforming who you are, day by day, rep by rep. It rewires your identity. You start thinking differently, seeing differently, responding differently. The person who shows up every single day slowly becomes someone else entirely, with new energy, a new posture, a new weight behind their words and actions. And no, that's not an exaggeration. That's transformation. Quiet at first, but one day, obvious to everyone. Think back. Who's someone you truly admired? Was it someone naturally talented? or someone who kept showing up with grit, consistency, and no compromises. We don't admire ability. We admire effort. We believe in consistency more than charisma. And even if you're not there yet, people will start believing in you if they see you don't disappear. If they see you come back. If they see you keep going. That's how reputation is built. That's your capital. And it grows every time you show up. Discipline is like an inner muscle. You can't see it from the outside. It doesn't sparkle like talent, but it holds your whole structure together when everything else falls apart. When there's no applause, when results are delayed, when the rain pours, when your heart is silent. In those moments, discipline keeps you on course. It doesn't consult your mood. It doesn't argue with laziness. It just does its job. And the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Most people aren't all that different at the starting line. Everyone has dreams. Everyone wants change. Everyone's got a plan. But time passes, and discipline, that's what creates the gap between those who remain behind and those who level up. It's not about motivation. It's not about ability. It's about the habit of showing up. And if you make that habit unbreakable, even without perfect conditions, even without support, even without certainty, because by showing up one more time when others quit, you've already won. Remember this. Results aren't born in bursts of brilliance. They're born in the gray grind of repetition. In those early wake-ups, without willpower. In workouts with no applause. In the quiet hours of work, when the world isn't watching. That's not failure. That's the formation phase. And the one who survives it becomes unstoppable. There's a principle that changes everything. Don't ask, do I feel like working today? Ask, what am I committed to doing today? That one shift separates masters from amateurs, winners from dreamers, creators from spectators. Willpower isn't about what you want. It's about what you owe to yourself. In what happens when you choose principle over emotion, you become the kind of person you can trust. And that is the highest currency in personal growth. Trust in yourself. Knowing that when you make a promise, you'll keep it. No matter how you feel, no matter the circumstances. There's a deeper truth here. Every time you skip the work because you're tired or uninspired, you weaken that trust. And every time you show up anyway, you strengthen it. Self-discipline isn't just about results. It's about who you're becoming, about the strength you feel inside, about the pride of standing where others back down. Think of the biggest breakthroughs in history. They didn't happen in comfort. They were born in struggle, in uncertainty, in pain. Edison didn't invent the light bulb on a whim. He worked for thousands of hours, failed over and over, and only discipline kept him going. Henry Ford didn't change the industry by luck. He showed up to that workshop every single day, working on an idea no one believed in. The world doesn't reward dreamers. It rewards doers who keep working when the dream gets heavy. True talent, it's not what you're born with. It's the ability to stay standing when others walk away. It's the decision to be present when the whole world pressures you to quit. So force yourself to show up, because every single day of presence forges you at a level untouched by fear or fatigue. Each day adds to your life's strategy. I act, therefore I am. I work, therefore I grow. I show up, and therefore my life moves forward. There's a pain that never fades. The pain of unused potential. The pain of knowing how far you could have gone but didn't. Of knowing you had the shot but backed down from fear, distraction, or doubt. That you had the talent but lacked the character. And that pain, it's not in your body, it's deeper. It seeps into your frustration, your envy of others' success, the voice that whispers, you missed your moment. And discipline is your only shield from that pain. Daily action is your armor, your sword, your self-respect, earned, never bought. When you wake up early, when you rise, when you do the work, you're not just checking a box. You're affirming something powerful. I am worthy. I am capable. I am enough. And the more you act, the less you'll need to convince yourself with words. Your behavior will be the proof. And proof is the strongest form of belief. People who act consistently carry a strange energy. They're not always loud, not always charismatic, not always in the spotlight. But when they enter a room, you feel it. They can't be broken. They radiate confidence without a trace of arrogance. Why? Because they know how many times they showed up when no one believed in them. They know what it's like to wrestle results from nothing. And that's why their words hit deeper. That's why their eyes speak louder. That's why their voice matters. And you can become one of them. You can start today. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for motivation. All it takes is one decision. I will show up, always. I refuse to live in a world of excuses. I take action, and if I take action every day, I am unbreakable. Maybe not perfect, maybe not the most gifted, but the one who finishes the journey. Remember this. Discipline is love for the person you're becoming. It's a gift to your future self. And if today's you shows up, tomorrow's you will look back and say thank you. So begin. Show up. No matter how you feel, no matter what they say. Do your part, then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and again. Because one day, that quiet consistency will become your loudest victory. You can beat yourself today, or lose to yourself today. And the choice you make right now will shape everything that follows. One small act, one choice, one moment. That's how paths are made, or broken. All the power of discipline lies in this, acting regardless of your surroundings. Showing up not when life smiles at you, but when the night is dark, the doubt is sharp, and your heart feels empty. That's when true character is born. That's when something bigger than mood or desire gets carved into you, the identity of someone who doesn't let themselves down. Take a hard look at those who truly made a difference in the world. Their secret wasn't luck or magic. It was the silence of unknown days. Waking up at 5 a.m., working in solitude, failing again and again, but continuing anyway. No guarantees, no ovations, no certainty. They chose discipline, and discipline gave them everything. The real challenge isn't going all in once a month. It's showing up every single day, even when it feels pointless. Even when your work vanishes into the void. Even when the results don't show. Because success is accumulation. Each day adds a drop to the cup, and one day, it overflows. You can be that kind of person. The one who doesn't look for excuses. The one who doesn't waste life on hesitation. The one who acts because only through intentional, relentless action is a winner made. Not in dreams, not in plans, in action. You earn your success, not because you were born with talent, but because every day you did what you promised yourself you'd do. So what will you choose today? Another day wasted or another day building yourself? The answer's in your hands, and only in yours. Everything you build either moves you closer to strength or pulls you back to weakness. Discipline is a daily vote. Are you on the side of habit or impulse? Decisions or desires? The future or the moment? And again, this isn't poetry. It's raw, brutal truth. You either show up or you back down. There is no third option. The world was built to test you. Laziness isn't a flaw. It's your brain's strategy to conserve energy. Procrastination isn't a curse. It's the echo of a broken promise with yourself. And discipline, that's the contract. The one with no fine print. It allows no compromise. If you said, I show up daily, then that means daily. Now imagine this. What happens if you show up for 90 days straight? No skipping to handle stress. No running off for emotional breaks. Just discipline. Raw, no drama. You rise. You act. You complete. Every single eyes. In 90 days, you won't just have results. You'll have a new body language. A sharper gaze. A stronger posture. That's called self-respect. That's what terrifies most people. The idea that they could have achieved it all, if only they had shown up. If only they didn't wait on mood. If only they acted despite the apathy. If only they didn't let tiredness become a license for inaction. And that truth, it hurts, because it shows you had everything and nothing if you never moved. Your presence is your power. To be there when others quit, to stay when others leave. That's when you win without a fight, because the competition already walked away. The field is yours, all because of one thing. You didn't vanish. You showed up. So stop chasing magic systems. Stop hunting for new success secrets. Build the habit of showing up, and then you won't need success to find you. You'll become success itself. You think you lose when things don't go your way? No, you lose the moment you stop showing up. The morning you say, I'll just skip today. That's when your path starts to crack. Not in a flash, not with drama, quietly, gradually, like rust eating through steel. One day, then another, and suddenly, you become someone else. Someone great at excuses, but bad at follow-through. Routine, it's either your weapon or your chain, and it all depends on who's choosing your discipline. You or the world around you. If your day isn't filled with purpose, it'll be filled with randomness, and randomness is never on your side. If you don't create structure, chaos will move in. And discipline, that's your fortress, your rhythm, your grid, where you know, here's where I stand, here's what I do, and here's why it matters. The more you show up, the less you'll need willpower, because showing up becomes your normal, your default mode, like brushing your teeth, like locking the door. It's not a debate, it's a habit. And that's why the most successful people seem unshakable. They're not fighting themselves anymore. They've embedded discipline into their DNA. But that transformation isn't instant. It arrives quietly, as a reward for hundreds of small, consistent choices. Wake up, and go. Doubt yourself, and still act. Don't feel like it, and still show up. And moment by moment, you rewrite yourself. You're no longer just someone who dreams. You're someone who does. Imagine how your life changes if you simply show up each day. No theatrics, no drama, just present. You'll write the book, build the body, launch the business. You'll see how greatness is born from tiny acts, multiplied by consistency. While you're hesitating, someone else is already moving. While you're scrolling, someone else is leveling up. While you're wondering, should I show up today? Someone else has already become better than they were yesterday. And this shouldn't scare you. It should light a fire, a clean, focused rage that says, enough self-pity, enough delays, let's go. Because every time you skip, you don't just stand still, you fall behind. The world doesn't wait. You can find 100 reasons not to show up, and every one will sound logical. But one single action cancels them all. Action is proof. And discipline, it's the stack of receipts you build every single day. Every time you show up, you vote for your growth. And when you don't, you vote against it. It's that simple. The strongest changes are the ones no one sees at first. They build in silence. While others chase instant hits, you plant. And when the time is right, you harvest. Because by then, you'll already have the ultimate skill, showing up, no matter what. And that is your true edge. Most people live at the mercy of emotions. They start when they feel motivation. But motivation is like fire from dry straw. It flares up and vanishes. What's left? Silence. And in that silence, discipline speaks. It says, do the work. No applause. No instant reward. No outside validation. Because true success isn't in the big wins. It's in your ability to keep pace when others stop running. Picture yourself a year from now. If you show up every day, regardless of mood, results, or criticism, who will you become? What will you create? How will your body, your work, your mind evolve? Now realize, all of it is possible, but only under one condition. If you show up tomorrow, and the day after, and again, no breaks, no regret. There's a silence most people fear, the silence after daily work with no reward. When you've shown up again, done your part, and nothing changes, that's when most walk away. They say this doesn't work, maybe this isn't for me. But you must know, that silence, that's the moment of transformation. Not outside but within. If you stay there just a little longer, without falling, without folding, without betraying yourself, you'll hear a different sound. The sound of becoming. It's quiet, but it's real. That's the moment you decide who you really are. Someone who moves only for results, or someone who acts out of dignity, out of loyalty to their word, out of honor for their dream. Results will come, that's a fact, but only for those who remain after everyone else leaves. Your ability to show up daily isn't about productivity, it's about freedom. You become free when you no longer depend on moods, when you stop negotiating with laziness, when you stop making excuses, when you simply act. Because freedom isn't doing whatever you want, it's doing what you chose, consistently. Success isn't an event, it's a system. And discipline is its engine. It's not always pretty, not always fun, but always precise. It's your guarantee, not of a result tomorrow, but of a direction nothing can knock you off. It builds you not by wins, but by the unbreakable power of action. So here's what I'll tell you at the end of this part. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be the strongest, the fastest, or the most creative, but you do have to be the one who shows up every day, again and again. Because one day, you'll look back and realize the road is behind you, the results are real, and you. Discipline is a silent agreement you make with the person you want to become. And every day you either honor that agreement or break it. Not with the world, with yourself. And that's why discipline is so powerful, because it builds your self-esteem not through words, but through action. Not in theory, but in daily reality. Most people don't have a talent problem, they have a trust problem with themselves. They don't believe they can follow through because they've broken too many promises before. Every time you promise yourself something and don't deliver, you lose power. But discipline is the way you get it back. Not through speeches, but through steps, through showing up. Here's the paradox. You feel the most power not when you win, but when you stand back up, despite everything. When you don't skip the day. When you show up, even when your body resists. Even when your mind throws 1,000 logical reasons not to, and you show up anyway. That is real power. Not external control, but control over yourself. The highest level there is. Success isn't made by what you do when it's easy. It's made by what you can still do when everything inside you screams, stop. Because when things are easy, everyone shows up. But when it's hard, only a few remain. And among those few is you. Remember this. Every time you show up, every time you continue, every time you don't quit, you re-sign that contract with yourself. And with every signature, you're not just forging discipline, you're forging dignity. Real success isn't the sum of victories, it's the sum of show-ups. You can't control the weather, you can't control world crises, you can't control what others do, but you can always control one thing, your presence, your decision to show up, your readiness to act, no matter what. Discipline is your personal zone of sovereignty. It's a place where excuses don't work, circumstances don't apply, it's just you and your choice. Do or don't. No accidents, only consequences, honest, direct, inevitable. Every time you force yourself to show up, even for 10 minutes, even in a bad mood, even when exhausted, you declare, I run my life. And the more days like that you stack, the less you depend on chaos around you. You become like a rock in a storm. The world changes. People disappear. Opportunities come and go. But you stand. This isn't about pride. It's not about flash. It's about peace inside. A deep, unshakable knowing that whispers, I can count on myself. That's what separates leaders from dreamers. A leader is born where excuses end. A leader is born when someone takes responsibility for showing up. You aren't born strong. You don't become unbreakable by miracle. You don't earn dignity by chance. It's built through one simple habit, daily discipline. The biggest battle is not for outer success. The biggest battle is for control over yourself. Discipline, that's your weapon in that war. Because discipline decides, will you act by plan or surrender to emotion? Will you build your life or become its hostage? People often say, I lack motivation. Motivation is a toy in the adult world of results. It comes and goes. It's fickle. Those who wait for it remain slaves to random emotions. But discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline only asks, did you decide? Then follow through. Success is not an explosion, it's accumulation. Tiny victories over yourself stacked daily, while others celebrate flashy wins and losses. You build quietly without noise, and when the day of reckoning comes, the difference will be enormous. Your progress won't be luck, it won't be charity, it'll be the result of relentless presence. You can't lose in the real sense if you keep showing up. Loss is not failure. Loss is quitting. It's stopping the fight. It's halting the movement. It's giving up on action. But as long as you show up, even with tiny steps, you are winning. You are becoming unstoppable. Your journey will demand more than you want to give. It will take your comfort. It will push you past your fears. It will shove you beyond your limits. And that's exactly the point. Growth doesn't happen when it's easy. It happens when you show up where it's hard. And every such moment adds weight, real weight to your presence in the world. Understand this. The world owes you nothing. It doesn't owe you rewards for trying. It doesn't owe you easy tasks. The world simply is. And if you want to make something in it, you have to show up, not for applause, not for approval, for yourself. Your real enemy isn't injustice. It's not even competition. Your real enemy is the voice inside that whispers, it's okay to skip today. It won't matter. But every missed day changes everything. Every absence shapes a new identity, the identity of someone who quits. And every appearance builds the opposite, the identity of someone unbreakable. You cannot escape pain, but you can choose your pain, the pain of discipline, or the pain of regret, the effort of today, or the sorrow of tomorrow. And you choose, every morning, every hour, consciously or unconsciously. Every time you show up, you beat the old version of yourself, the one who picked comfort over challenge, who delayed dreams for ease, who dreamed but didn't act. These victories aren't always obvious. They aren't always instant, but they stack. They form the foundation everything else rests on, results, reputation. So if today your work feels pointless, if no one notices, if nothing seems to change, remember, true change is invisible at first. Great trees spend years growing underground before they ever break the surface. And so are you. Right now, you are rooting deeper than you know. There's only one real question you must ask yourself every day. Did I show up today? Not, did I win? Not, did they praise me? Not, was it easy? But this, did I show up, no matter what? Because when you show up, you defeat yesterday's you. The one who doubted. The one who looked for excuses. The one who wanted to stay comfortable. And that is real victory. Not in theory. not in dreams, in action. Your discipline is your hidden bank account. Every day you act, you make a deposit, and at first, it looks like the balance is zero. No one claps, no instant payoff. But later, when most quit, your account will start working for you. And when the world finally notices, it won't be sudden. It will be the payment for years of silent discipline. People overestimate what they can do in a day, and underestimate what they can build in a year. If today you make even one tiny move, it's not just a move, it's proof. It's a brick in the foundation of your future. And the more bricks you stack, the stronger your house will stand. Talent, it helps, but discipline always wins. Because talent is a bonus, discipline is the base. Without it, no talent survives the pressure of time, fatigue, and failure. So whatever happens tomorrow, remember this: you always have control over one thing, whether you show up or not. And as long as you choose to show up, you're already winning. You're already becoming who you're meant to be. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Every moment is perfect. If you are right inside, force yourself to show up. That is your path. That is your strength. That is your answer to everything. While you hesitate, others move forward. While you wait, others are creating. While you doubt, someone is turning your idea into their result. And this isn't about competition, it's about reality. In this world, only those who show up make it. Not the smartest, not the most talented. The ones who are present, here, now, every day. The world doesn't care how much potential you had. It cares what you did with it. Potential is a promise. Discipline is the fulfillment. And only fulfillment changes your life. People who get results don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it with their own hands, with their own hours, with their stubbornness. They don't ask, what if I fail? They ask, what if I never even try? Discipline is a form of respect for your own potential. Because if you don't show up, you're saying, my future isn't worth the effort. And that's an insult to yourself, to your dream, to your destiny. Showing up is an act of love. Love for the craft. Love for the future you. Love for who you can become. Not someday, but starting today. You don't have to change the world today. You just have to do your part today. That's the essence of it. Greatness is built from small things. It's the sum of hundreds of ordinary, sometimes boring, sometimes exhausting, sometimes invisible actions. Only those who endure that path earn the right to results. Yes, showing up is hard, especially when progress is slow, when others seem happier, more successful, closer to their goals. But in that moment, you hold what they don't: resolve, the silent commitment to keep going. And that silence, that discipline, will one day roar louder than any quick success. Force yourself to show up, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. That's what shapes you. People are taught to avoid discomfort, to listen to themselves when they don't feel like working. But here's the truth. Growth lives where it's hard, where your body resists, where your mind tangles, where every cell screams, today is not my day. And yet you move. That's when the invisible happens. Not in your mirror, but in your spine. That's character. It's not born from motivational speeches. It doesn't appear through applause. It's forged in battles you fight with yourself, with the part of you that wants easy, that craves comfort, that fears the long road. Defeat that, and you've already defeated everything else. Look at anyone who truly made. Every single one has a story of staying when fear screamed louder than hope, when exhaustion crushed every thought, when no visible results came. That story, not the one about triumph, is their real strength. Force yourself to show up, because discipline turns weak muscles into steel will. Discipline rewires your brain. You're no longer a victim of circumstances. You're the creator of them. And creators don't wait for comfort. They build strength through discomfort. That's why they become unstoppable. Yes, it will be tough. Some mornings you'll wake up with no energy, no belief, no sense of purpose. But in those mornings, the real forging happens. And you must know, by showing up today, you're placing another stone in your fortress. And every stone is priceless. Discipline is a choice made in silence. No crowd, no stage, no cameras. Just you and your work. That's why discipline is the purest form of strength. Because you can't fake it. You either have it, or you don't. Most people search for public validation. They chase applause, approval, likes. But the true builders, they vanish into the work, into the silence, into the repetition. And that silence, that's their proof. Only those who can withstand the silence are worthy of the roar. Your daily decision to show up, that's your path to true freedom. Freedom from emotions that change. Freedom from circumstances that fluctuate. Freedom from opinions that mean nothing. A person who shows up no matter what is free. They don't wait for permission. They don't beg for validation. They simply act. And that act is sacred because it's real. When you show up every day, no matter the storm inside your head, you transform yourself from within. And even if it looks boring from the outside, inside, everything is changing. One day you'll wake up and realize, I'm no longer the person who hesitated. I am the one who moves. I am the one who stays. And that opens a whole new horizon. The world doesn't bow to the loud. The world obeys the consistent. Because discipline is the silence that echoes louder than screams. It's simple actions that outweigh big promises. It's daily presence that eventually becomes legend. There's a thought that paralyzes millions. I'm not ready yet. And it's dangerous because it sounds so reasonable. But readiness doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who show up. And with every showing, you become a little more ready than yesterday. That's the real path. If you're waiting for everything to be perfect, you're waiting for something that doesn't exist. Successful people don't wait. They create inner readiness through outer action. They act and grow along the way. It's not intuition. It's a formula. And that formula starts with one thing. Show up. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to feel confident. You don't have to be inspired. All you have to do is your work today. Write a paragraph. Hold a meeting. Open the laptop. Go to the gym. A small step. Not impressive, but it's yours. And it's real. And real steps build real confidence. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you could become. Every appearance lays another board across that bridge. At first you walk wobbly, then you walk strong, because you know, I don't depend on my emotions. I don't wait for perfect moments. I am the one who moves, and that movement is already victory. So the next time you hear, I'm not ready, smile and act, because action destroys doubt. Action proves, I am enough to start, and I am enough to show up. Discipline is always available. It doesn't need special conditions. It doesn't need a special mood. It's just waiting, every morning, every evening, in every moment, and only you can reach for it. You can spend your whole life chasing motivation, changing strategies, hitting but one truth will remain. The one who shows up wins. Not immediately, not always loudly, but unfailingly, because the simple act of presence is already a claim on success. Don't dream about discipline. Don't admire it from afar. Breathe it into your mornings, your fingers, your workouts, your meetings, not as heroics, but as your normal. Tired, you show up. Doubtful, you show up. Uninspired, you show up, because that, not inspiration, builds your real power. The world won't always be on your side, but discipline will be, if you choose it. It won't betray you. It won't abandon you, because it's not external. It's part of you, and only you decide to activate it today. So today is another day, a day where you either show up or disappear, and only you know the answer. But one thing is certain, if you show up today, you'll be stronger tomorrow. And if you show up tomorrow, one day you'll wake up victorious, not by accident, by decision, by thousands of decisions to show up. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the habit of finishing. Not just starting, not just dreaming, but finishing. And that ability comes from only one source, your daily presence. Showing up even when you're tired, when the excitement is gone, when it would be easier to quit, because it's there in that space where real strength is born. Discipline is the bridge between intention and reality. Many know what they want, but few ever reach the end. Why? Because beginnings are sweet. Energy, ideas, emotional highs, but then comes reality, routine, repetition, doubts, wear and tear. And that's when most fall. They expected ease. Success isn't easy, and that's what makes it valuable. You stop being a dreamer. You become a finisher, a builder. Even when the crowd is gone, even when only silence remains, even when your own faith falters, but you make the decision, I will finish, because I promised, because I know why I started, because I refuse to betray myself. A person who finishes is dangerous. They're not just disciplined, they're predictable to themselves, and that makes them unbreakable. They're not guests in their own life, they are the masters, because they chose responsibility for the action, for the pace, for the finish. In a world obsessed with flashy starts, be the one who finishes, because in the finish, real life begins, and the real applause comes, silently, in your heart. Because you didn't disappear, you showed up, and you delivered. Success isn't a miracle, it's the residue of doubt, of discouragement, of lost motivation. It's what's left after everything else is gone, because you stayed. Not the most talented, not the luckiest, just the one who didn't quit. Discipline is when you refuse yourself the right to run, not because you're cruel to yourself, but because you love yourself enough not to stay small. It's not ability that disappears first. It's permission. Permission to retreat. One excuse, then another, and soon a lifetime of unfinished attempts. You can change that, not with heroic deeds, but with one thing, showing up today, then again tomorrow. And when your mind screams, "How much longer?" you answer, "Until it's done." That answer is your new code, your new faith. Think about it. So many people are chasing new systems, the perfect schedule, the ultimate motivational guru, but all they really need is consistency, not genius. Consistency, the only magic that always works, and it's already in your hands, if you choose to use it. You know what the best reward will be, not money, not status, but the feeling, "I didn't lie to myself." That confidence is fundamental. It can't be faked. It's either there or it's not. And it grows from one thing, keeping your word to yourself, by showing up, always. When you show up every day, you're not just building discipline, you're breaking a pattern, the pattern most people live by. I am who I am, I can't change, this isn't for me. And with every day you act, you rewrite that script. You prove to yourself, I am changeable, I am moldable, I am the creator of myself, not just the product of chance. Force yourself to show up, not just for results, but for the right to become someone new. You are not trapped in old habits. You are not doomed to repeat behaviors that once destroyed you. Discipline is the right to a new identity, and it's not given, it's earned. There's a thought that cuts like a blade. If I'm not where I want to be, somewhere along the way, I betrayed myself. This isn't for guilt, it's for awakening. Because if you had truly acted every day, sincerely, fiercely, to the edge, progress would already be moving. Discipline is the cement that seals the crack. It's your daily rebellion against chaos, against weakness, against the older versions of you that want to pull you back. This rebellion doesn't need words. It lives in your calendar, in your practice, in your silence, in the work no one else knows you're doing. And it's in these quiet moments, in this seeming invisibility, that you start to glow differently. People won't understand why they're drawn to you, but they'll feel it. You are disciplined, and that makes you powerful. Here's a fact nobody likes to think about, but everyone must know. Your time is running out, and it won't come back. No hour repeats, no day returns. If you don't show up today, today is lost forever. Not because it falls off a calendar, but because it adds nothing to you. That's the real tragedy of inaction. You seem to live, but you don't grow. A year passes, and you're the same. Same dreams, same problems, same excuses. And the heaviest pressure isn't from the world, it's from your own conscience. Because deep down, you know, you could if you didn't. Discipline is your answer to that truth. It's your weapon against wasted days. It's your way to leave a mark, not for the world, but first for yourself. To know, I didn't waste my time. I built something, even if not everything worked out. I stayed in the fight. I didn't hide. And that's what separates those who live from those who merely exist. The one who acts, lives. They transform. They ignite. The one who delays, simply drift, simply drift, simply drift. Not dying, but not growing either. Just repeating. Don't let your life become a rerun. Break out of the loop. Start by showing up tomorrow, then the next day, then again. And before you know it, a year will have passed, and you'll be someone else. Not because of magic, because of rhythm, because of the decision not to waste your time, because you value it. And someday, in the quiet of your own room, when you look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I do everything I could? Let the answer be firm, clear, without a shadow of doubt. Yes, because I showed up every day, no matter what. This is not romance. It's a choice, made 100 times, in moments when no one was watching, on days when your body screamed, enough, in hours when the world seemed to move the opposite way, but you kept walking and showing up, again and again. because you knew, if not me, then who? That's the truth of life. Not everyone will become a genius. Not everyone will make history. But everyone can live with dignity. And dignity is not bought. It's not gifted. It's built with your daily actions. With your silent "I will show up," spoken in the dark, without an audience. Talent can start the journey, but only discipline brings you to the end. An end you can be proud of, because the real finish is not a date, it's a feeling. I lived fully. I did what I could. I left nothing unfinished. So here's what I want you to remember for the rest of your life. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be consistent. You don't have to win every day. You have to show up every day. And if you do, no force on earth can stop you.